for an organization who preach change and culture change, you are running it back with the same guys who have failed for 8 years in a row. And that's what pisses me off. It's not
Mm.
about these additions. I like these guys. I love Chris Tanev. I love OEL. I try not to factor in the AAV and the contracts because whatever. I mean, these guys will figure it out. And I think on the paper, they're a better team. But I think anybody who watches these guys and watches the league the way I do and most people do, there is reason to be skeptical about the crease and wonder, and there's reason for concern. But that's my greater issue, Rosie, is that after all that talk to finish the season like 55 days ago, they're running it back, it seems, which is ridiculous to me.
Well, the puck's not dropping
Okay,
tomorrow night, right?
fair.
This is a couple hours into free agency. Deals can get done. Nobody knows what's going on with Mitch Marner, but if a deal breaks, all of a sudden they're absolutely not running it back, and this team looks completely different. And you could even go a step further for another year and open up John Tavares's contract and
Yeah.
cap hit, and all of a sudden it's like they're really changing things. Who have they retained? Oh, Matthews and Nylander, fantastic. Turn this team to whatever you want, and the pieces are kind of already there for that. Um, I do understand how you're running it back, but as of right now, it's not easy to not be in that direction. You have got the previous administration's no trade moves clauses that guarantees guys are hard to move. And that's what we got with Mitch Marner. And if you don't want to keep that much money in those 3/4 guys, you're going to have to make a move, and it's not easy. And one could be in the works. Maybe it's not. Maybe he's going to get dealt mid-season trade deadline. Maybe he's going to go have something happen before training camp. Maybe he'll play out his contract and walk. I don't know what's going to happen, but I just know that just because the time started ticking on free agent frenzy and Mitch Marner's still here, they're committed to running it back. I'm not ready to say that at this point in time
Yeah,
because
I just again what they said over the weekend in Vegas. Craig Berube's excited. I know they what else are they going to say, and then the other impact too, obviously, is teams not having salary space. I know Vegas is still out there, but again, your options are limited because everybody spent their money today. And again, for somebody who's been optimistic that a deal was going to transpire, I just don't feel that way right now. And unfortunately, it's like out of sight, out of mind, where they almost hope or think that people are going to forget the way the season ended. But you and I cover this team on a daily basis. I do not forget how the season ended. I do not forget how Mitch Marner played in those 7 games against the Boston Bruins. And my biggest fear is coming true that we're going to get to the season. People are going to be hot and horny over Mitch Marner getting 34 points in 18 games, calling for the Maple Leafs to re-sign the guy. That's just not how I work. I care about the playoffs and getting the job done. And bottom line, it is the definition of insanity that they're running it back with these guys. 8 years, Rosie. We're talking about a decade. Like, where were you 8 years ago? I think still in the National League, man.
I don't know, but I know. I know. And we have been, it's just when you do go down this conversation, I know I've been there. I get it. The one thing that keeps standing out to me is it's not that their goalies have let them down and their D have let them down. It's
Mm-hmm.
that these big dogs have let them down and they haven't been able to score that big goal. We just watched a ton of playoff hockey over the last couple months, and these big dogs that rise up when that team is just boiling to this pressure cooker. And oh my God, the next mistake is going to be the game. And who is it? It's X, Y, or Z that stands up and boom, wins the game for you. Those guys just didn't do that. And oh, fuck, we're down 1-0, but we get a power play 5 minutes into the first period. Didn't start very well, but here we are to get this thing back on. Nothing. We get another power play. Thank God. Nothing. Running at 4.8%. Are you kidding me? It's those guys that need to get going and need to do something. And if Mitch Marner is on the team, I have my doubts and I have my reservations about the level of commitment to be able to change who you are and how you want to play in the playoffs. But whoever's on that roster, whether Mitch is part of it or not, this includes, Willie and Austin too. Time to have a big breakout playoff season and time to get the job done on the scoreboard when you get your chances. And it's funny that, there's two sides of this coin all the time of they don't have the D and the goaltenders, and everyone talks about that. But it's like, well, all these guys you're paying these money to haven't exactly shot the lights out and done their job in the playoffs, which is kind of like, it's just so demented because it's
Yeah.
just backwards, and it's not like what you'd think this team would do. It makes no bloody sense is my point. And I don't know, man. Well, We'll see, but I do think that a different mentality from Craig Berube, different identity, mix the guys up, give them some more help on the back end. I don't think is going to hurt at all. And I just still have reason to be pretty optimistic about this team, because I just know that at any point in time, any season, things can just happen and you can never predict how it's going to go. And there is a chance that this team just becomes, the top of their potential and shows what they're really capable of and fucking blows everyone into the water.
Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long form interviews, we got clips, we got epic rants by Jay Rosehill. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much for watching.